Modeling is what?
If
Selling a product.
Okay.
That's it.
But what if the product is them?
Then that's not modeling, that's hooking.
An OnlyFans model also has a fan base. Describe to me their fan base and how that would help or hurt them.
Their fan base, I would say, are
I'll answer that for you. Thirsty men.
yes, yes. Not all men though. I know a lot of women who pay
Can
for
they
it.
buy Dwayne's dresses? How many of them are gonna buy Dwayne's dresses? Of these thirsty crowd men, yeah.
I don't think they're interested in dresses.
Okay, so once again, modeling is what?
If
Selling a product.
Okay.
That's it.
But what if the product is them?
Then that's not modeling, that's hooking.
Okay, we think very differently. I'll put you.
Herding cats, take one.
Trinity. My age is 27.
My name is Emma and I'm 22.
I'm Vilma and I'm 43.
My name is Carrie. I'm 32 forever. No, forever 32.
That's a new store brand that you should take a look at. All right, ladies, I'm going to start off with the young ladies there, and I want to ask you both to explain the modeling world from your perspective, starting with the most nervous.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How many different directions could you take?
Erica?
Yeah, that's a lot of different directions. Just my experience in the modeling industry or...
Your description. You need time to think about that?
Yes.
The modeling industry is very interesting to me because it takes an art form that is meant to be aesthetically pleasing and goes after something that is not external whatsoever. It actually goes after this feeling of acceptance and attractiveness and confidence that comes from the inside.
After this feeling of acceptance and attractiveness and confidence that comes from the inside.
But ironically, it's a completely aesthetically based industry. So I think it's interesting to me primarily to see how people decide to externally show what they're trying to feel inside, both designers and models alike.
Communicating what you're trying to accomplish is something very difficult, even for the individual trying to translate their emotions into something for others to understand. When an individual says that they're a model, but they are confused about what their motivation is, it can lead to a huge miscommunication of what they're actually doing and want to accomplish.
And hair and makeup as well, all forms of expression just to go after a certain feeling or a certain emotion that is internal.
I agree with that a lot. I think that the modeling industry as a whole is a way to express yourself and like she was saying, like from the inside out type of feel. Like you get to be someone, like someone different like every single day if you want it to be. So that's really cool because for someone, I used to have very like confidence issues and I used to be like bullied and stuff like that. But this industry has made it where I can fully accept myself and be confident in who I am because there are so many other people just like me. And so it's a world of just acceptance and becoming something that is outside of your comfort zone, which is really cool.
From you both, define model.
I mean, if you look at the definition of like role model, a model is someone who is showing what is or can be. And so I think the idea that models are what we should strive for is outdated. I think models are meant to show a way that something can be expressed in one, on one person's body, in one person's idea. And so I guess a model to me is anyone who is able to kind of provide inspiration to those who they are role models for.
I like that too, a role model, because when you're modeling, you are, like everyone is like looking at you and looking at what you're modeling. So to me, modeling is, yeah, like she was saying, just like a role model, like how you. I'm so remembered.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's just a way to express yourself and a way to. I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with role model.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Carrie,
Yes.
That's a hard question.
define model. First of all, how many years have you been in the industry?
Going on 30, I think. I define model, I take it as a career, as a job, right? So being a model, first of all, there's a lot of problems right there. It's like a lot of times when you have I call that a mature model, they coming to this job and then they realize, they just thought, okay, I can walk, I can run, I can walk a runway, I can take a picture, I'm a model instantly, which is totally wrong. I'll tell you what is model 101. Model, you first of all has to be a good human, which means you have to have a great personality. You cannot be just a model and do a job, like you don't even, for example, I'll give you an example. So you go to a runway like stage when you do a fashion show for a designer. Some model come in and goes, I don't like this clothes. I want that one because that one's good. I refuse to wear this. Or they can just pick up the clothes and try on, put on the ground, right? Those are model 101s. You want to be a model, first you know how to treat designers, treat the clothes. You first thing, you cannot tell the designer which one you want or not. And secondly, you cannot treat the clothes like a garbage because those are designers' time, effort, talents, everything. And then you cannot just go there and trash everything. So being a model, I tell you, is one sentimental thing. You got to be a good human, behave right, and treat that as a job. And you be paid for, or even not being paid for, you got to do it seriously. So that is the first thing, right? So a lot of people don't understand. They just go, oh, I know how to walk the runway. I know how to do a photo shoot. And then therefore I'm a model. No, far beyond that.
So let me ask you something about that. Where did you learn this? Give a little bit of background of where you came from and the magazines that you've been in when you were in the modeling world.
Well, when I gather all those experiences, when I was probably younger than you, 17, 18 years old, right? You start doing modeling and nobody really train you. There's no school to train you how to be a model, and you have to pick up everything yourself and looking around, see what people do, and then what people the behavior, per se that, and you gather those information. Some people, they model when they were younger and then they give up and they do something like, rather than modeling, they have kids and they go other things, they're doing other things. But I like being behind the scene. So I was in front of the camera, I was in front of the runway, I did all that, I knew, right? So I like to choose to be producers, to be directors. So behind the scene, then you gather all the information, gather all the experiences, and then I train models. First of all, I'm not gonna show you how to walk. I'm not gonna show you anything about the job, the talent, right? I trained you Model 101, which is, I mentioned those things, right? It's very, very important when you know those things and then you start training. It's almost like a kid. You cannot tell the kids to run when they don't even know how to walk, right? So you have to do all those things. But when I travel so many places in the world, I initially from China, and I went to Canada, model competition. I was there winning, prizes and all that as a Chinese, right, which is very rare. And then I went to Spain in Europe when my agent called me and told me to go there. So I stayed there for 2 years, and I went to China, opened up my own company, advertising and modeling company, and I went to U.S. which I'm here. And then starting my own company, and mostly is advertising or modeling. So right now I have a production company doing producing for designers for runways or commercial, for New York Fashion Week and all those things. So magazine, I was in Spain, couple magazine. I don't even know. I forgot all my Spanish. I was there. I spoke I think some Spanish, right? But totally forgot. It was a long time ago. So some Chinese magazine, I don't even know names. But recently, I haven't really tried to get to magazines in the States, because to me, it's not the point of you getting old or anything. I want to be behind the scene. I don't really want to, to show, unless with Lema, I like to take some pictures with her just for fun, right? So.
And you have some clients that are interested in getting published, and you can do that for them.
Yes, and I have, I encourage people, like I have a client who is 70 years old, beautiful, beautiful lady, and I told her she needs to be featured. And I mean, obviously she is a person who empowers so many people her age, right, 70 years old. And I took her to international model competition. She won, not a lot, but 5 awards, that's a lot. So those, just examples, yeah.
Vilma, what is a model?
A model is a coat hanger for somebody else's product. A model is someone who needs to be there for somebody else, and it gets twisted. Especially in the United States, where a model is a professional selfie taker. Every morning I get up, I take pictures, I give myself a title, a model. I go on and I make everybody believe I'm a model. I have no idea about modeling whatsoever. But for example, really quick, we have fashion shows, and backstage, models got the makeup done, right? We have the makeup artist. And then in the bathroom, the girls are starting to take off the makeup, starting to correct the makeup. And I understand it's fast. Runway shows are fast. Makeup is fast, and we don't like it. But still, you cannot go and start removing makeup and start doing it yourself, because a designer has a vision. And yes, sometimes designers doesn't even see the makeup, but designer has directions to the makeup artist. The makeup artist does your makeup. You're not allowed to go and remove it. If you walked for me and you did that, you're going home. You're not even walking. So that's just disrespectful, and there's just some rules that you have to follow.
Ladies, define model.
They already did.
No, I
Oh,
did.
again.
Has anything changed your mind? Has any, try again for me.
Well, I really like what you just said about being a coat hanger for somebody else's design. That stuck with me. I was like, wow. That's very true, because you're there for somebody else. And
I just want to say something. Let's look at Dwayne. What is he trying to do? He is trying to put together something for women that is very empowering, because he gets therapy from that.
oh yeah,
And that's his idea.
yeah.
Someone else coming in, changing that to fit their narrative is really not fair to Dwayne.
Oh, not at all. That is so unprofessional. I would never do something like that. So yeah.
And great. So tell us about the most happy thing, situation, scenario in the modeling world for you.
The most happy thing in the modeling.
That made you like, oh my God, wow, this is...
The biggest high, the biggest
high.
euphoria.
Every time I step onto a runway. The biggest show that I've done New York Fashion Week like 4 or 5 times now.
With Dwayne?
No, with
Which show?
well, this last season I did 4 shows. I did King Lee, Stevie Boy, Ellie Boulay, and then Anthony Rubio. And I always walk for Anthony Rubio, and I've been working for him for a while.
Good friend of ours.
So, how many times have you walked for him?
For Anthony,
Yeah.
including LA Fashion Week, I've walked for him like 6 times.
When did we shoot his show? What year was it?
Oh, we shot his show. There was one in LA and one in New York.
Yeah, the one in New York.
And he did and also at
For Society.
Pier 59, when Dove was showing her stuff with our leggings,
Yes.
he was there too.
We know him.
Yeah.
We're going to be filming for him this year as well. We're
Oh,
doing
okay.
a show for Anthony, and
We're
we
making
actually
him
have
some doggy leggings.
Doggy leggings. And
No, yeah, Anthony and I are really close.
so, your biggest euphoria.
Kind of.
In terms of euphoric experiences, Paris Fashion Week. In terms of euphoric feelings, I love getting to look at a designer's face after we've come off the runway, because it's the first time that they've seen something get brought to life. It's something that they hold near and dear to their heart like a child, and they work on it and pour their heart and soul into it, but they don't see it move. They don't see it physically move and be brought to life until you put it on. And I think probably my favorite part about runway shows is coming off stage and seeing the face of the designer and how euphoric it is for them.
You're 27 years old. Someone just getting into the industry, what advice would you give them?
I could not agree with that anymore. I was telling Trinity earlier actually that when you show up to a set and you have a negative attitude, those people are never going to want to work with you. ever
True.
again. So you need to be yourself, and you need to have a positive attitude, because a positive attitude is going to go a lot longer way than you being a diva or like messing up your makeup or complaining. You're there to support the people around you, and if you aren't, then no one's going to want to work with you ever again.
Love it. And how old are you?
I'm 22.
If you wanted to change something in the industry, what would it be?
Ooh. The sexism.
Modeling is what?
If
Selling a product.
Okay,
That's it.
but what if the product is them?
Then that's not modeling, that's hooking.
Showing your body in a way that creates the thirsty male hormones to be pointed at your direction, you're going to have this issue. Basically, what's going to happen is that you're going to have one guy that you're going to accept because he physically, optimally looks in a way that he can get away with this. But the guy sitting right next to him, he could probably get brought up on some type of sexual charges. So it's very difficult to control this if you are placing yourself in a way for men to look at you in this way.
And
Define that.
the unsolicited and unprovoked behavior that men often show towards women. And it's not always men towards women. Sometimes it's women towards men, to be honest. It can go both ways. It
Give me an
predominantly.
example.
And then with the age of social media comes waves upon waves of, again, unprovoked and unnecessary messaging and comments and things that, again, we don't need and we don't ask for, and to a level of inappropriate interactions that just don't need to be had.
Carrie, what would you change in the industry if you could? If you had a big magic wand and you can go poof, what would it be?
Well, we're talking about the innovation and creativity. So, time changed, everything changed, fashion changed, like really rapidly. So I just thought nothing is going to be like old-fashioned or it has to be this way or it has to be that way. And there is so many ways of doing fashion shows or campaigns or all those things. For me, I'm excited to see different way of happening in the fashion industry. For me, anything new is exciting. I'm looking forward to see. So let's just make some change.
Got something.
What would I change, and what do I love about it? I love about it that the change is happening, because it's opening possibilities and opportunities for more people. I come from the modeling where it was maybe 100 very well-known models and the rest of them just had to dream. Now you don't have to dream anymore. If you're willing to work hard and if you're willing to do the work, you can become it. You can do it. There's so many different kinds of modeling that didn't exist before, and a lot of people laugh about Instagram modeling. That's probably one of the most powerful things that's the future is gonna see. If you make your brand in a certain way that people recognize your brand, you know, you shoot certain niche, or you do certain things, you know, you become known for something and you build your following, it's really gonna help you, because when you have about 250,000 followers, you start getting people asking for your services. So try to get a goal of getting to 250,000 organic followers. Once you get there, people start sending you messages and start offering, you know, oh, I'm gonna send you some outfits, and you come up with the rates of what you charge per post. You know, for example, if you have 250,000 followers, you know, you can make probably $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week from just advertisers, and it's changing. It's really changing. A lot of girls are able to make money now, and I'm not talking about the what's the website? OnlyFans. Yeah, a lot of models are calling themselves models, and I asked them, where do you model? And they say OnlyFans, and it always confuses me. Is that like a new model mayhem that I'm not aware of, or like?
Do they wear any clothes to show?
Depends.
Depends.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, they
when
wear
they,
as little or as much as they want.
okay, but in that platform, right, on that platform, what's the message they try to tell their audience? Doesn't matter what audience is, like what they trying to tell them. Look at me, I'm pretty, or look at my clothes. You can buy it.
Oh, it's a sexy thing.
Okay.
It's a I want to look attractive. I want to be attractive. I can provide that experience to other people, and if that's your game, more power to you. It's not my game, but more power to you if that is.
So, Tina,
Yes.
explain to us what you do, who you counsel, and what your world is like.
So I am a fitness coach. So I train just like your everyday people for lifestyle. I also do bikini competition prep. So I coach for that. I myself am an IFBB bikini pro, so I compete. It's crazy. A lot of my clientele, not necessarily the girls for competition, but just my everyday, it's a lot of counseling. Be it their bad marriages or just there's some aspect of them that tends to be a little bit broken, or I think that they're looking for guidance, and I think it's easier. I'm 51. I've had life experience. I've been through divorce. I've been in an abusive relationship.
Cancer
I've
survivor.
pulled myself up from absolute depression. So using my just my life experience, I'm able to connect with them, really regardless of any age. Just because of things I dealt with in my 20s, which is different than from my 30s, different in my 40s. But in the same aspect, a lot of it is different. It's all the same. We deal with insecurities, the way we are gawked at by men or looked at by men. I had a husband who basically told me, people just want to look at you. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You know, which is very
Strong.
interesting. And the reality of it is, like, you know, I look, you know, 25 years later, and it's like, no, actually, people do want to hear what I have to say. And I'm married to someone now who, that's all, he's like, people want to hear what you have to say. They, you know, want to listen, they look for your guidance. And being in the fitness world, it's such a crazy time right now. A lot of it because of social media, because of editing and filters, and now you've got girls that are 20 years old getting butt jobs and all this stuff. It's just so different. So it's
What job? 20 years old.
they're getting
Butt
like
implants.
implants and
Butt jobs.
lunchtime lipo, and it's sucked out from here and put into here, and then you've got these other girls seeing it and go, oh my gosh, how do I look like this? And she looked like this in 3 months. It's like, no,
But I
that's a
do that
recovery
too.
time. That's not, you
I
know.
think it's any age. I
Yeah.
do that too. I tear myself down.
Yeah, and that happens with women all the time. It's so easy to go on there and look and see what we think is perfection, and then in reality, I mean, we're kind of perfect how we are, you know. And I think that's, for me, I find beauty in the fact that we have imperfections and that we're all different. Nobody looks like this completely filtered picture, but that's been kind of lost, and especially I deal with that a lot with girls.
So, we were talking about OnlyFans. Do you know what that is? Do you have an opinion about OnlyFans?
I know what it is, and
Describe your feeling towards that, and what kind of effect would that have on a woman's psyche, with that good, positive, bad, or indifferent?
I mean, I think it's hard to say just because, so like, we're a different generation. I think the younger girls growing up feel like this is an empowering thing. This is my body and I'm showing it off.
Not
and
all the
you know.
girls, young girls.
But I did
But
it in my 20s.
I'm just saying
I did
it tends to be, I feel like more of the young girls feel like that. Whereas my generation, you weren't like that. That wasn't, our type of empowerment was fighting for different, you know, just to have our voices heard, and, you know, not to be sexually harassed in the office, not to have to deal with those type of things. I mean, I look at it as somebody who, obviously somebody who's going to get a job, they're gonna check, and they're gonna look, and they're gonna see, okay, we see they've got this, and I think that instantly, in my mind, I think someone's gonna maybe perceive them as, she's easy, I hate the word, I don't wanna use the word like slutty, but I think they'll get a different view. That's not necessarily true of the girl, but I think that's just sort of the view, and I think that lends to the thirsty men that are looking and like, oh my gosh, I can go click on this and see this and that, and it's like, you know, I feel like, to me, it's a little bit sad, I guess.
To me, being in the business for 40 years, here's what I see. To me, it presents a narrative in a young woman's world that causes them to fight and protect. It puts them on the defensive, because you do get the men that have been raised by wolves coming at you from all different angles. And, you know, whatever you do is up to you. But to me, I know the men who look at that. And I don't want them anywhere near anything that I'm doing. I don't want them next, because I'm all about what she is saying, what she wants to present. And when those crazy men are around, the women that deal with that, they look at me like, okay, so what is Chuck gonna do next? Is he going to do this to me? And they're always so on the edge and ready and waiting for something to happen. It's almost like they got a bat in their hand. And me, as an individual who loves to present kindness to people, it's very difficult for me to be sitting almost ready to get swung at in every minute. I feel almost like a battered woman. I have to get ready to duck every time, you know, I say something. So that world to me presents something that makes it very difficult for me to be kind. It makes it very difficult for me to come in close. It makes it very difficult for me to have some really open up, because I love moments like this.
Yeah.
I love sitting down talking to women and having women talk together. I love this. And, you know, when I get that OnlyFans male audience, thirsty male look around, it totally changes my whole, you know, environment. And I can't. So for me, it's not good, but for someone else, I do not, you know, think anything negative about it because, you know, my movie that I have playing in my head, I can't expect everyone to follow that same movie, you know. So to me, as long as we can sit down and have a beautiful conversation with one another, I don't care what you do. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, again, like I said, that platform is some job, right? Whoever wants to do the job, whoever wants to be doing, you know, the audience, that's fine, that's their thing. But that's not modeling. So it's totally out of the question. So let's move on. It's not modeling we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So here's what I'm getting at here. So we have two different generations here. We have generation, I don't know if, I have no idea if it's X, Y, Z, elemental
like
P,
generation
LGBTQR, I don't know. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have these two worlds. You have a young generation coming in, calling it modeling. You have another generation that says that has nothing to do with modeling. What I'm trying to do is just have this conversation between these two groups to understand what both of you guys, because Carrie didn't even really know what OnlyFans was. So she had to question, what is this? So I find this situation very important because now she has an idea. So next time she sees that, or another girl is, you know, comes up behind her and asks her something about it, she has something to say about it because she has a little information. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to catch somebody on the spot or, you know, anything like that. Any questions that you guys have for me as a man in the modeling world? Anything? Hit me with it.
We call him a bitch whisperer because he understands women so well, so hit him with any question.
What's the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with?
Women not helping each other. I've been in this business for 40 years, and I've tried to brand someone. I wanted to try to make someone stand out and be a role model for someone else. My pitch 12, 13 years ago was, okay, I will brand you, I will make the clothes, we will erase every other photographer on planet Earth, we will make them aspire to want to be, you know, you, and we will do this, and we will go out, we will get other women to come in and participate in what we do, and we will make a great business out of this. Maybe 3 or 4 photo shoots max it would last. And then I would be there creating everything, putting everything together. The model would come in, and before I could get the next image edited, she was already off shooting a free shoot with someone else. And to me, as a businessman, it's very difficult for me to derive value from free. I can't give away my products if I want to create value. You know, Apple doesn't give away a cell phone. They charge $1,500 for the bet, and they have people waiting all in line to get that. Why? Because they don't give it away, and they make you feel like this is something that you really need. So that's what I wanted to do, is create that need. That's just marketing. So what happened in my world is that I would try to get women to see this, but it turned into, Chuck, you're trying to be controlling. This is something I should be able to do anything that I want to do. So when I found Vilma, she did that. She stopped shooting with everyone.
Good.
Then she started asking for $600 a photo shoot. She got it. People start calling her. 800 a photo shoot. She got it because no one else could shoot her. She made herself unavailable to other people. Then she has a clothing brand. Now all of this right here, this guy paints the Pope, Aerosmith, and Vilma. She's in the same category as these individuals now because she is now branded. So when they think of steampunk, she's a steampunk model. So now when they think of this, they come to her because she is branded, and that's the way, you know, that, you know, it works. So I want to take your version and your versions of how to, you know, possibly get something that you want out of life, twist it around a little bit, and just think about it. Just think about branding yourself, because if you make yourself and the subject matter expert in something, you will get treated that way. And to me, diversifying your portfolio is the worst thing you can do. Why? Because you become a subject matter expert at nothing. A concert pianist, he doesn't practice the flute on Mondays, the cello on Thursdays, and so on, and get back to it on Mondays. He did 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours, then he becomes an expert at something. I'm just trying to give advice. You can, ignore it, but it has worked. And all I want to say is it's working. That's it.